Africans, we are still here at the Apollo Hotel where we are celebrating the global womenhood high coffee. When I said tea, hey, so mama correct So standing next to me, ladies and gentlemen, these are two powerful women, and you know, sometimes we just need to break the norm. And on my left, Mama Angie, Motshekga, and of course our lovely queen here, Mama Mary.
Thank you very much for having us.
And welcome to GudTV, Mama. Mama Mary, I came here earlier on and I realized that she was so busy running around. Mama, oh, okay, I can invite her. GudTV Africa, the next thing she disappears on us. And then we wanted to ask you exactly, why did you think of hosting this kind of an event where you have all the global women out of all these countries that you have had today?
So I'm glad that this day has actually then dawned. I'm glad that women are gathered in the room and really collaborating and partnering and applauding the content that we get given by the guys in the global village. What triggered the relationship to expand our mindset was basically the fact that when COVID-19 started, we then had global prayer festivals. And every Sunday, that was my initiative under the landscape of the Empowerment Network. And every Sunday, we were logging in with about 21 countries. Wow. 5 outside of the Africa zone and 16 within the Africa zone. USA, UK, Jerusalem, India, Pakistan, and most of them were actually from the continent. And that is when we started establishing partnerships and relationships. Very strong forces, very strong relationships where one would be invited in their own respective countries as well, virtually, not actually then going there, but virtually. So I then said, I've got 10 streams under the Empowerment Network, and one of them is actually Womenhood, which is basically my agenda. When I started my master's program, I did the research on advancement of women into the leadership echelon of the organization that I served. And I said to myself, if I have done that, one thing that limits us is the fact that when we embark on studies, we don't think futuristically. We just want to get credentials and be endorsed as doctors and be endorsed of whatever. But it is so important for us to start looking at education from the end state when you start to say that I'm going to change the mindset, I'm going to make an impact. And that is what is bringing us here. Global village gathered. And I can tell you now, the doors are being opened wherever I knock, and I'm a very persistent person. But I knock, and I'm seeing God just saying, I dream, I'm a dreamer, I'm a visionary. But you know, the answers I get, it's not about money. It's about breeding thought leaders. It's about starting to look at collaborative mindset instead of competition. It's about the wisdom that the aging community has in terms of then empowering us, and we getting ready to then breed that kind of legacy that our children would actually need. And therefore, I am saying I'm so pleased this day is here. And my dream has come true. Yes, I'm going to sleep well at night. One of the most important things is to constantly unlearn, learn, and relearn.
Oh, I have taken that. I'm taking that definitely with me at home. You know what? GudTV is breaking the norm. And most of the time, you know, they always say, well, ministers, they need to be interviewed alone. Hey, today it is the day for women. Mama Angie, I think you've heard Mama Mary. You know, most of the time, it is so difficult for women to work together. And you're a minister, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a granny, I guess, you know. Why did you think it is so important for you in your busy schedule to cancel everything and to come here today?
No, as women, we need each other.
Yeah.
We need each other. It's such a difficult thing to be a woman in an organization, to be a woman in society, even to be a woman at home, in the house. And women, we just have to remind each other about the powers that we have, about the responsibilities that we have, and just keep on supporting each other, because the role of being a woman is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to raise kids. It's not easy to, even a marriage, it's not easy. It's a very difficult institution. Just difficult.
You scary me, Mama Jackson.
No, but you have to.
Yeah.
Because if it comes, you don't, those are natural things that are there. But it's very important for us to support each other. It's very important to work together, because it's only You know what Motshekga says, when you rise, pick up another. Because when you have the critical mass, then you have the power.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Mama Mary, you know, earlier on, actually I was listening to your speech, and I was just wondering, how many women actually logged in online? Because I realized that it's not only South Africa, it's not only Africa, but it's like the global world. I mean, how did you do that? Because one person could say, this can only be a miracle. Is it because you are a prayerful woman?
I wanna say that I think people often we say don't blow your own horn, but let me break that norm. I wanna say with my innovative capabilities, with my stretching out, with my people personality that I have, and leadership skills, and as a mentor and a coach, I have learned that this light cannot move by itself from where it is located right now. Someone has to move it in order to get to where it should be. Now, the world is not like that. The world is not waiting for people who are idling. The world requires people who want to move a step further and become solution providers, change catalysts. And I'm saying I capitalize from the Global Prayer Festivals, and I also capitalize from the books, 7 books that I have actually published, that we can reach out. I called Michelle Obama, and I wanted Michelle Obama to log in today.
Why didn't she log in?
She's going to log in next time. I wrote a note to Oprah, and I wanted, and no one can actually do that if we're not courageous and bold enough to actually say, I want to reach out to those people. Here is Angie, and I'm saying, when people heard that Angie is coming, you know, it was like, is it true? And I knew in my mind, let me tell you, the dance I had that night, I've never heard it. When I then said, finally, you know, God works miraculously because you've got to be patient. When that time comes, she works around you to a point that when he answers, when he responds, you're going to be very surprised with the kind of results that you're going to get. I dreamt about having women in one area and a bigger number. Even this morning, there were still RSVPs. People were wanting to come through.
Who wouldn't want to come here?
So I changed the setup, and I said I'm going to accommodate a few women in one room, because it's the first of its own kind. We call it a pilot in project management. And then those who would log virtually would actually still be able to access content, the content that's going to be providing them. So they're not going to be missing much. What they're going to be missing is just the energy and the touching and all that. And I want to say that with Sierra Leone, it was just so easy, because I'm already in contact with Dr. Chris, who is a custodian very close to the First Lady of Sierra Leone. Zimbabwe, it was just something else, because 3 weeks ago I shared the stage with the Minister of Gender and Minister of Information and Broadcasting. And we were also, it was International Women's Day, and they had invited me. Botswana, I reached out to Basadi Kgosi, who basically is part of the Africa Parliament, and at some stage we engaged.
And Mama Senati as well.
And Mama Senati, so it can be done. Every month I give a theme to a month. Ne? Last month it was a month of possibilities. And I said, I want to get into the impossibility stage. Environment. I want to play there. That's my territory. So I want to get there where people would say it's not possible. And I said, I'm going to be doing it. I will do it. And I've done it.
That is why, as GudTV Africa, we are trying to do the impossibility. So Mama Angie, you know, earlier on, Mama Mary spoke about her book, where she featured about 150 people. And those people were telling their stories. And I want to believe that you read the book, because you sort of like spoke about it slightly during your speech. Ke ntho e entseng hore o rate buke hakana kore o ise hlohong ebile o inahanisa mo eleng hore ho bohlokwa hore o tlo I share le batho.
You know, books written by people that you can identify with in terms of race, in terms of class, in terms of experience, leaves a better impact. I always say, for instance, when you feed kids at school, We give them food that they would. You can't bring them food that they have not developed the taste for. We used to give them soya meat. They used to throw it because they have not developed the taste for it. But if you have a book written by people who can identify with, so you can identify with their stories, they have an impact on your life, and you can relate to it. And what is good actually about books written by women and African women in our environment, it's really speaking to you. You can identify with the issues. So I think that's what is powerful about the books that they are sponsoring, the stories that they're sponsoring. You can feel it. You can feel the texture. You can relate to it. You can link into it. Unlike when you read a story, I'm not very, very sure what they're talking about. You can't even identify the location. You don't know what. It takes you time to get into the book and feel part of the book. I mean, some of the classical books, as a teacher, they beat our kids because they talk about the context which they don't know. And sometimes they even use the idiom that they don't know. Whereas, Rona, we grew up with an idiom. You know, I always tell my kids that even when I feel very tired, lazy to wake up, my father's words of saying, they haunt me. Because I tell myself, this comfortable bed, I won't have it if I don't go and work. These lights, so just that idiom keeps you going in life.
Exactly.
And that's what I like about books written by our own people, because they speak to you, and the things that they tell you are going to stay with you for life.
For life. You know, you mentioned something very interesting. You know, during your speech, you said, "Mama Angie because I always watch her interviews and she always speaks English. We say, Russia, 85% ya batho ba Russia ba bala dibuka. How qeta kana na mhlomong o tlo 15% ha e bale dibuka. Wa just 15% is people who are advanced readers, authors. Mama ke nnete taba yo and ha ebe ha o tlo araba. Ke kopa go jwetsa rona South Africa mona jwale re sebetsa jwang?
It's so sad. Also ne ke tswe hampi and ka hopola re and it also got me reading. Ke tla o qoqela ntwe ke le tsela ka nna ke ile Brussels, then I Europe. And South Africa hore ke tlo khona ho bona naha ke tsote botle. So ka ya ke tshwaretse bag ya ka hore ke tlo tsota bo. It's a hula training ena tube. Motho mo mong aya begging and sabuka. I was so embarrassed ke now ke dutse ke tonne matlo training tsa mali 15. I was not ready. So I'm not saying I'm any better. So it really got me. And so when I could lot about Arabali kere mo ha ko kan ni le banna ha ba qada buka pampiri morao ba sheba log book re pirates ka chiefs ka o fedile hore ba le pele next ba ba le editorial ha ba di bale. So hope bana ba rona le re ba rekela dimpho re ba rekedi dibuka ha ka bona planning bana ba mo khoba ba kana ba tshware dibukanyana tse tsa o bapala ditho tsa ba ke tsa o bapala rona ba tshware di plastic tsa China dikoloi tsa di dimpopo tse. So your culture ya o tlwaetsa wana because buka we say buka tshantse o itlwaele o irate o kene mading. Then
what do you think contributes to that, especially rona South Africans, because ke a tshepa hore rona ha re fihle 85% in hobane ha ne ko mametse hantle we say only 15%. And out of the 15%, only 5% is advanced. But then what do you think are the reasons that really makes us not to really want to read books?
I think it's a good way. And I think the consciousness and especially our young people to read. And I think the interference of technology. And even some of the stupid stories that we listen, I mean, we look at, there are lots of things which really should not be happening. I don't want to mention them. People work about the Queen, admiring Mokarav. I can't see a country allowing their children to be watching a story where drugs are glamorized. And then we think we're building. We're not building. It will never happen in the country where Karabo comes from. They will never glamorize drug selling. We glamorize crime. But also the Koloi, and then from as early as 6 o'clock, children are watching this. So there's just no reading culture. We don't share books, we don't exchange books, we don't speak about books. And maybe no one raised that before. We're trying to raise it strongly to say a leading nation is a reading nation.
Yeah.
Our people have to read. Books take you to, and I'm naka lockdown, next na budutu because hona mathateng a lockdown eo. Dibuka di wisa mosa hong bana ba bona utsaho le mong. So the depression of being locked down, you become unlocked. So people were depressed, were committed suicide, and simply because our people don't have creative and positive habits. And reading is a very good habit. And that's why we have to consciously encourage our people to exchange books, give each other books. We have a reading club that we have through NECT to get adult young people to talk about books.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is GudTV Africa for you. Always known for doing the great things. But in closing, I really want to say, Mama Mary, so what's it about But here, Mama Mary, before it's Amaya, what would you like to say to other women who would like to join your empowerment movement? Because I mean, this is quite big. This is quite motivating, and it is a meaningful, honestly, a movement that I myself, I have started joining. She doesn't take no for an answer. And I am here. I had to cancel everything. But listen, it is worth it. What would you like to say to other women in Africa?
I would like to say to the women of Africa, we need to reconstruct and re-engineer Africa. And Africa can only achieve her dreams if we step up, and be out of the dancing floor. Just get into the balcony and look at Africa and start visualizing it as a center stage of global village, just a stepping stone of the global village. We've got minerals, we've got everything else that we need to take accountable for. Yeah. Right now, women who want to join the Empowerment Network will not at all have to go overseas to go and get solutions. Yeah. We've got solutions amongst ourselves, and I always say that. Now we've got Womenhood, which then women can sign up for under the Empowerment Network. They can actually call me. We are currently reconstructing our website. We are looking at registration process, putting some systems together, because I've realized that during lockdown there's been quite a lot of demand for women to basically belong. And when you have a sense of belonging, your pride elevates. Because when you belong to a crew, you know that you've got a very solid support structure. And therefore, that is what I'm saying. I'm encouraging women from all across the globe, not necessarily only in Africa or even in South Africa, to actually sign up to become the members so that they can actually lead. We need to breed thought leaders. We need to breed women who are change makers, but most importantly, who are ready to be mentored and to mentor others, because you cannot always lead. There are certain times when we've got to follow, because someone else has got much better competences than you. So if you could actually trade, not money per se, but trade our knowledge, our skills amongst ourselves, we'll be a better nation.
Wow, she said it mouthful. So, Rona Hotamona GudTV Africa. I mean, now I have learned a lot. As a young woman, I have actually learned a lot. Nteso ke re ho lona hle bonang re le basadi ha re emeng ka maoto. Let's crown each other. Let's stop this thing of discounting one another and looking down on each other. It's really not going to help us. And if our mothers can really do it, why can't we as young people? So I am actually pleading out to all the young women out there globally. If you're an African, you're staying in America, you're staying in Germany, you're staying in Nigeria, Senegal, Africa, please, let's come together and do this thing. It is so simple because we have all the experts right here. So, ha ba re tshware ka matsoho, ba re tetekisa jalo jalo, hobane re tlo hola ebile re etse hantle tabena. Ho tswa ho rona, ha re reng ho lona halala ma Africa.